used to love this show when it came on after school. Even Stevens was a staple in my formative TV watching years, and the Disney Channel totally crushed it when it came to depicting the wacky home life of the Stevens family. But just because this show was on the Disney Channel doesn't mean that they didn't slip a few adult references past the censors. I'm Whitney Van Laningham, and these are some jokes you might have missed when you watched Even Stevens as a kid. Before we uncover all the hidden jokes in Even Stevens, I want to give a special thanks to all of our NerdWire patrons over on Patreon. If you want to help make NerdWire possible, as well as getting access to exclusive content, you can check out the link to our Patreon in the description, or click the join button below to become a NerdWire member through YouTube. Our first round of perks is coming up soon, so join now so that you don't miss out. Now on to the jokes! Number 10. In this episode, Lewis discusses the worst moment of his young life with Beans. Word to the wise, don't let your pants fall down next to an orchestra pit, buddy.
I fell right into the orchestra pit. And let me tell you something, Beans. Trombones hurt in a way that you will never understand.
Yeesh, trombone up the butthole without an ounce of lube sounds like the absolute worst. Next time, try a little Vaseline up there, big boy. Number 9. Next, we have to talk about how the hell a guy named Coach Tugnut ended up as a character on a Disney show. Surprisingly, the actor who plays Tugnut, Jim Wise, actually confirmed in an interview with MTV that Disney execs thought the name was absolutely hilarious. But it's not only his name that sounds a little dirty. Apparently, his free time is filled with weird adult activities too.
I know what you've been doing, and frankly, I am appalled.
Hey, look, I never told Mrs. Wilkins to shave my back. She asked me if she could do it.
Okay, so apparently Mrs. Wilkinson has trichophilia. I tried to Google the name for a shaving fetish, but I didn't get anything except for links to RedTube, so y'all are gonna have to look that one up on your own. Number 8. Speaking of names that sound like nutsacks, what's up with Tom's last name?
Thomas Grabowski reporting for eye examination.
Grabalski? Really? Why do they have scrotum last names on the Disney Channel? Number 7. I was pretty proud of myself for remembering most character details from this show, even though it hasn't been on in a decade and a half. But what I did not remember is that Tawny's mom is a psychologist and that she has some weird patients like this one.
76-year-old man woke up one morning and told his wife he only wanted to be called Freak Nasty.
Is that a mental disorder? Or did that old guy just have an erection that lasted more than 4 hours? Who's to say? Number 6. Lewis breaks the bros before respectable ladies code in this episode when Twitty's very recent ex-girlfriend asks him to join her at Templeton Park.
You mean Temptation Park?
Why do they call it that?
Only because it's the hottest makeout spot in town.
Okay, Tom, calm down there, we get it. Sluts as far as the eye can see.
That's why they call it Temptation Park.
Number 5. Not all the jokes you missed as a kid are sexy. Sometimes they're just gross in other ways. In this episode, we take a flashback to Ren's 8th birthday party when homegirls hold him to that don't swim after you've eaten rule a little too strictly.
Guys, wait, we can't swim yet. We just ate.
Ren, sweetie, it's been over 3 hours. I think it's safe to go in now.
I wasn't completely wrong. That kid that ate all that macaroni salad, we had to drain the pool.
Great choice to stay out of the pool, Ren. I feel for those kids that got blasted point blank in the kiddie pool with a rogue shark. Yuck. Number 4. Alright, strap in, because this entire episode could be its own ruined video. For starters, Lewis and Twitty try to explain to Beans what it means to be a man.
You know what happens when a boy becomes a man?
What?
Gross! Can you stop telling 8-year-olds about discovering their manhood? He's like in 3rd grade. He has at least 5 more years before he even grows pubes of his own. Let Beans be a kid, man. But the real core of the episode is that Ren and her friends are having a sleepover at the Stevens' house next weekend. But that's not the gross part. This is.
Twitty, what would you pay to see how girls really act when guys aren't around?
Probably like $500,000.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking like $10.
Dude, that's your sister. Gross. Also, I'm sorry, but girls do not wear, sexy pajamas to a sleepover. Heck, whenever I crash at Chris's house, I'm lucky if I remember to change from jeans to sweatpants before I pass out in her guest room.
Tickets go on sale tomorrow to see Ren and her pajama buddies on Close Circuit TV. The title will be, Welcome to the Secret World of Girls.
And selling tickets? Really? What is this, some late night pay-per-view porno? Do you know how many pedophiles could totally hack into your sleepover spying stream? Bet you didn't think about online predators, did you, Lewis? Well, they're out there. Number 3. Well, this is weird. Apparently, Mrs. Stevens uses the soothing sounds of Fred Durst's rap metal to soothe her soul.
The Limp Bizkits. Now that sounds relaxing.
If you haven't heard of or listened to Limp Bizkit, congratulations, you are much younger than I am. Apparently, after listening to the CD, Ren's mom thinks she's way too young for Limp Bizkit's lyrics.
Ren, sweetheart, I listened to the Limpy Bizkits. What interesting lyrics. I did it all for the...
Mom, for those of you who might not remember, Limp Bizkit had a song in the 90s with the line, "I did it all for the nookie" on repeat in the chorus. That album had a gigantic parental advisory sticker on it, so I have no idea how it ended up as a punchline on the Disney Channel. Number 2. Just because Mrs. Stevens wants Ren to save herself till the ripe age of 30 doesn't mean she doesn't know how to party herself. When she meets Lewis's new drum teacher, it's pretty clear that she's, known him for a while.
Hey, didn't you rush the stage at my Boston concert in '81?
I might have.
I mean, I'm not crazy, right? Mrs. Stevens totally boinked that drummer. But can you blame her? It was the 80s. Number 1. Whoa there, Pimp Luis, slow your roll. In the very first 5 minutes of the pilot episode, Lewis considers a pretty indecent proposal.
Why couldn't he just ask her something easy?
Something easy like your sister. I just slut-shamed a teenage girl, self-5. Nah, I'm just playing. What are you doing, Lewis? You can't prostitute your sister for a Pokemon card. Especially to a guy eating pork rinds in geography class. This is the Disney Channel, not a human trafficking ring. These are my favorite jokes from Even Stevens, but I want to know which ones I missed in the comments. Like and subscribe to NerdWire, click to left of my face for more videos, and I'll be back next week to ruin your childhood. Yay! All done. Gonna kiss that pug.